We're joined here once again with Marilyn Schaffer, CEO of XTM Incorporated. Marilyn, welcome back.
Thanks, Brandon. It's good to see you again.
Likewise with you as well, because we got a lot to discuss today. And to begin with, I want to discuss that to date, this is your biggest push into the US market by rolling out 100,000 mobile wallets and virtual debit cards through a partner integration that has clients across all 50 states. Can you dive more into this rollout and what it means for XTM?
Right. So this is a pivotal time for us as we've been, this has been a year in the making. And so we're now at a point where not only can we support both from a compliance perspective, a banking perspective, a processing perspective, can we not only support this business, we have the business. So through a partner relationship, we'll roll out, we talk about EWA, we talk about payroll. That's what we're rolling out. So first it'll be the portal that enables people to see their information and their HR information. The second thing is the wallet. And the third thing is a virtual card. And so basically enabling them to be paid on the fly wherever they are.
Yeah, and it's fascinating too, because we always talk about GDV and revenue. That's the big element of your company. What type of impact does this have on potential GDV when you're talking about 100,000 mobile wallets going out there?
Well, if you think about it, on a good month in 2021, where we had 2 weeks in Canada where we were not shut down, we did 25 million in GDV. So the anticipation is on full rollout and full reopenings. It would be, maybe 3-4 times that. So now think about adding earnings to that. That's just the gratuity. Add the earnings to that and our GDV pops exponentially, and therefore our revenue.
Yeah, and like you said as well, if there's any American investors watching this, they may not understand what's happening in Canada, specifically in Ontario and BC and the likes. There's been a lot of lockdowns. It continues to lock down, but as of March 1st coming up of this year, all of those are being scrapped in Ontario and BC, all these other provinces are following. So not only in Canada are you going to begin seeing your GDV start spiking from the clients that you've been locking down over the last weeks and months, but also in the United States. In recent interviews, you also discussed how your US expansion was put on hold, actually, because you wanted to find the right partners to really make that push with. Since then, you've now partnered with the Bancorp Bank and more recently with Visa for your US rollout. How will these partnerships set you up for success, and what should investors be expecting next from XTM, this time in the United States?
Yeah. So as a fintech company, our own technology is imperative. It's essential. And if you compare this possibly to a train or something like that, it needs to run, the rails need to work. But if you can't let passengers in, if the doors don't open, or if it's not properly, the temperature isn't proper, it wouldn't be the proper user experience. So for us, those third-party relationships are essential. So the Bancorp, they're innovative, they're fast. Yes, they're thorough. They've done their due diligence on us. We've worked through a number of integrations and so on, but it's done now. And then Visa, again, super supportive. They're offering us all kinds of ancillary benefits like data analysis and trends and so on. So making us that much smarter in the business. So we're really, really happy to have these partners in the industry as we roll out in the United States.
Yeah, very exciting to hear. And what's also exciting as well is we're talking about partnerships and all these different things, but there's also a topic of mergers and acquisitions, something that you've hinted on for some time. But more specifically, you also updated investors earlier this year on your acquisition of Tiproll and how your internal tech department further developed that IP to easily integrate with your Today program. How does this play a role in your overall strategy of becoming a one-stop turnkey solution for the hospitality industry?
It's really pivotal, Brandon. If you think about it, what really matters to us is that end number. We need to know how much that staff person is owed. And so with tip pooling, we're able to do the math, do the calculations, and determine how that restaurant is allocating their gratuities. Whether, if you leave me $20, I may have to share that. And until we know that number, we can actually do the payout. So tip pooling was very important. It's a pain point for the restaurants, and they needed to solve that, and we're solving that for them. So speaking of M&A, that's a great question. We have been talking about that. The ecosystem in the operations of a restaurant is very important to us. The payment is just one piece of it. It's almost like the last mile. And what we've been thinking about is all those other ancillary operations, tactics that need to happen to make a business effective and to be able to operate with good margins. So that's from onboarding, a staff person, to time and attendance, to inventory management, to payroll, and all of those other things in between. So when you talk about M&A, that's what we're looking at. We want to be the best destination, the best decision to choose for a restaurant looking to fix all of that back office for them in their operations.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure how many people have worked hospitality in their careers. I know I have, especially as in my earlier 20s, and it's amazing how many things, some things will be on the manager, some will be on the supervisor, some will be in the back accounting offices, and they're all trying to communicate with each other, and then you're waiting for your tip pool, then you're waiting for your wages, and there's so many different little things, and sometimes up to a half a dozen people or more operating on this, where the system that you're creating is able to do that all in the back end, all together. It streamlines everything. So for anyone who doesn't understand the hospitality sector, that's okay. That's why you and your team do. This actually is such a solution to a lot of those people.
You're right. It really is. It really is an important part of that ecosystem. We had an incident this week where a staff person called our company and said, "I've been waiting for my tips for the past 3 weeks. Can we get on your program?" They were calling on behalf of the business. So, so there's that, but there's also the idea of that earned wage access and being able to get paid the same day, not only for your gratuities, but also your earnings. You worked that day, you want to get paid that day. So to be able to facilitate that is very rewarding for us.
Yeah, and well said. And I know, once again, waiting weeks upon weeks for certain payments when you're thinking, no, I worked that. I'd like to get paid for that immediately. This is the solution. Lastly, we always like to end off our interviews with asking what investors should be excited about coming down the pipeline in the near future from XTM. And also, though, more specifically to your mobile wallet and virtual card rollout, are crypto integrations a possibility in the future as well?
Crypto is becoming more and more an accepted and mainstream currency. And, not all the banks have caught up to that. So we will work in tandem with our issuing banks and look for other relationships as well that enable us to add this valued feature to as a benefit to our current cardholders. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be very interesting because a lot of people want to be able to use their Today card for maybe just a payment or something like that. And then maybe they want to switch over to their Bitcoin or their Ethereum, start using that too. So it'll be very interesting. I had to ask that. I know it's not necessarily something that's going to happen tomorrow, but an integration that has a possibility. And then in terms of what investors should be excited about coming over the coming weeks and months, what would you have to say to that as well?
Well, Brandon, one of our biggest challenges is to not be distracted. There is so much opportunity, all kinds of ancillary ways of generating revenue. Now that we have the foundation in place, we've got the relationships in place. It's all really sales, marketing, R&D, sales, marketing, R&D. It's all about that. But what we're really going to focus on is getting what we've got now on our roadmap right. And then adding on all the innovation and the opportunities and the additional revenue generating opportunities, we'll add them on in time. There's no reason why we can't, reach for the moon and get there within a very short period of time.
Yeah, well, Marilyn, thank you so much once again for your time. Very excited to see what's coming in those weeks and months to come. And once again, I look forward to being able to speak to you again because it always means we're talking about some sort of development. So appreciate it very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day as well.
Thanks, Brendan. You too.